Hello, everybody. It is I, Mr. Aaron, once again returning to you at 2 p.m. for some more reading awesomeness. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Margaret Taylor, who commented on yesterday's video. She said her grandson, who is 2 years old, loved the story. I am so happy to hear that he loved it. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and hopefully he loves part 2 here just as much as he loved the first part. So we will be continuing today with Dragon Masters Saving the Sun Dragon. Now, you may remember when we left off yesterday, Khepri, the Sun Dragon, was sick with something, and they were trying different ways of making her feel better, and nothing was working yet. And so the Dragon Masters finally went to bed, and Drake was awoken in the middle of the night by Worm's voice in his head. His dragon stone was glowing, saying, "Come down now to the dragon caves." So that is where we were picking up today. Chapter 6, Worm Calls. Drake jumped out of bed. He shook Bo awake. "Worm needs us!" Drake cried. That was all Bo needed to hear. The boys raced downstairs to the door that led to the dragon training area. Drake tried to open it. "It's locked!" Drake cried. "Good thing I have a key," said a voice. Drake and Bo turned around. Rory and Anna were standing there. Rory held up a key. "Where did you get that?" Drake asked. "I swiped it from one of the castle guards when I first got here," Rory said. "It's a skeleton key. It opens up all the locks in the castle." "We came running as soon as we heard you two stomping down the hall," Anna added. "We figured something was up." "I'm glad you came, but please hurry," Drake said. Rory opened the door. When they got to Khepri's cave, Worm was in front of it. "How did Worm get out of his cave?" Drake wondered. "Worm, what's wrong?" he asked. Worm nodded toward Khepri. The gate to her cave was open, and the Dragon Masters stepped inside. Griffith was asleep in the corner. Books were piled around him. Khepri was asleep too, but she looked sicker than before. Her scales looked dull. She looked thin and pale. Her breathing was loud and heavy. The Dragon Masters were stunned. "She wasn't this sick earlier," Rory said. "Did the potion make her worse?" "Maybe it just didn't work," Bo said. "We have to do something," Anna cried. Drake looked at Worm. "Is there anything we can do?" Drake whispered. Worm's body began to glow. Drake wasn't sure why, but he knew just what to do. He put one hand on Worm's snout and the other on Khepri's tail. "Everybody touch Worm, now!" he yelled. Startled, his friends obeyed. They all laid their hands on Worm. Griffith's eyes snapped open. "What is going on?" the wizard asked. But before Drake could answer, green light exploded in the room, blinding them. Chapter 7, Faraway Lands. Drake felt... My finger touched the pad and hit a button I wasn't supposed to hit right there. Sorry about that. Drake felt weird. He couldn't feel the ground under his feet, but he could still feel his hand on Worm. His stomach did a flip-flop. Drake blinked. His feet landed on sand, and he could feel cool air on his face. Worm, Khepri, and the Dragon Masters were standing on a pathway. A white stone wall lined one side of the path. On the other side of them was a tall, strangely shaped building. Griffith was not with them. "Worm, why did you bring us here?" Drake wondered. Drake looked up at the big building. Each of the building's 4 sides was shaped like a triangle. The pointy top was capped with shining gold. Anna's eyes got wide. "A pyramid!" she shouted. "Drake, what have you done? Where are we?" Rory asked. She sounded scared. Anna turned to her. "I think we are in my homeland." "But how?" Drake started to say. Then he looked at Worm. The dragon's green eyes were shining. "Worm must have used his mind powers to bring us here." "That's impossible," said Rory. "Dragons can't travel halfway across the world using their minds." "Look around you, Rory," Bo said. "It must be possible. We are no longer in the kingdom of Bracken." "But why didn't Worm bring Vulcan and Shu with us?" Rory asked. Drake thought back to Kepri's cave. "We were all touching Worm, and I was touching Kepri, but the other dragons were still in their caves." "And now we are here, in the land where Kepri and I were born," said Anna. "Wait! Remember what I read in Griffith's book about sun-dragon twins?" Rory asked, her voice getting excited. "It said that every sun-dragon has a moon-dragon twin that can heal it." "So Kepri's twin might be here," said Bo. "Do you think that's why Worm brought us here?" asked Drake. Suddenly they heard loud voices. The voices came from the other side of the stone wall. Drake didn't understand the language, but Anna did. "Oh no! Robbers! They come often to the pyramids to steal things. That must be why they are here. We cannot let anyone see us or our dragons." "But there's nowhere to hide," said Bo. Just then a boy stepped out from the shadows. He had golden brown skin and black hair like Anna. "Follow me," he said. Chapter 8. A Strange Boy. Rory stepped closer to the boy. "Why should we follow you?" she asked. "We don't even know you." "Trust me," the boy said, just as the robbers' voices grew louder. "I am surprised to see that you have dragons, but I know how to keep them safe. Come on!" "We must hurry," Anna said. They had no choice. The boy waved for them to follow him. He touched the pyramid, and one of the big stones pushed in, revealing an opening. "A secret door," Drake thought. "Inside, quick," the boy said. "Dragons first." He stepped aside to let them in. Kepri was weak, but Worm nudged her gently with his nose. She stepped through the door. As Drake walked past the boy, he saw a cord around the boy's neck. Something green and sparkling was dangling from the cord. A dragon stone! The boys slipped in behind Drake and the secret door closed. They were inside a dark tunnel. Flaming torches lined the walls. Drake turned to the boy. "Who are you? Are you a dragon master too?" He pointed to the green stone around the boy's neck. Anna, Rory, and Bo gasped when they saw it. The boy smiled. "My name is Heru," he said. "I do not know what a dragon master is. My father gave me this stone." "King Roland calls us dragon masters," Drake explained. "We were chosen by the dragon stone to work with dragons." "I have not heard of King Roland. Are you from far away?" Heru asked. Bo nodded. "Very far." Heru frowned. "How strange. Can you tell me why Wati brought me here tonight?" Anna was stroking Kepri's neck. The dragon's eyes seemed brighter now that she was inside the pyramid. "Who's Wati?" Drake asked. Heru grinned. "He is my dragon." By now they had left the tunnel. They were inside a dark room. Drake looked up. The ceiling was so far above that he couldn't see it. Then something appeared out of the darkness. A huge black dragon flew down from the ceiling. His eyes glowed bright yellow. With a loud cry, the dragon flew down, charging right at them. Chapter 9. Khepri and Wati. "Get down, everyone!" Drake yelled. The dragon masters all ducked, but the dragon was not after them. He came to a stop right next to Khepri. The dragon wrapped his wings around her and made a happy, purring sound. "It looks like they know each other," Drake said, pointing to the two dragons. Wati was gently stroking Khepri's back with one of his wings. Her eyes were closed, and her head was drooping. Wati had black scales, and Khepri had white scales, but they had the same graceful bodies and yellow-tipped wings. "They look a lot alike," said Bo. "Yes, except that Khepri has light scales, and Wati has dark scales," added Drake. "Light and dark, like the sun and the moon," Rory yelled. Anna's mouth dropped open. "This is what we've been hoping for." Haru looked thrilled. "Wati is a moon dragon. My father taught me that all moon dragons have a twin, a sun dragon," he said. "Wati must have known that Khepri would be in this pyramid tonight. That explains why he flew off earlier. I'm glad that I followed him here." Drake was starting to figure it out. "So, Khepri must have known that Wati could heal her," he said, "and she must have told Worm about her twin. That's how Worm knew to bring her here." "Is Worm an earth dragon?" Haru asked. Drake nodded. "They have amazing powers," said Haru. "Worm did the right thing when he brought Khepri here." Rory gave Drake a high five, and Anna hugged Worm. "Thank you, Worm." Then Bo looked nervously at Khepri and Wati. "Look." Wati was standing up on his hind legs with his wings spread wide. "Everyone step back, quick!" Haru yelled. They moved away just as Wati opened his mouth. A ribbon of dark colors streamed out. "It almost looks like a rainbow," Drake thought, "except it's all blue and black and purple." Wati's rainbow grew and grew. It swirled around Khepri's body. She stirred a little, but her eyes were still closed. Anna squeezed Drake's hand. The light from the blue and purple rainbow grew bigger and shone brighter. The dragon masters had to shield their eyes. Then, whoosh, the light swirled all around them. Chapter 10. Robbers. The light began to fade. Drake blinked. Everyone looked at Khepri. Her white scales looked shiny again. Her eyes were open and clear. She did not look sick anymore, just a little tired. "Khepri!" Anna cried happily. She started to run to her when... Bam! They heard the sound of wood breaking. Loud voices were coming from the tunnel that led to the hidden chamber. "The robbers are coming!" Anna yelled. "We must get out of here!" Rory balled her hands into fists. "We'll fight them!" she growled. Khepri and Wati roared as the four men dressed in black ran into the chamber. They carried bows and arrows, spears and clubs. When the robbers saw the dragons, they stopped, their eyes wide. Then one of them started yelling to the others. The men raised their weapons and took aim at the dragons. "They want to capture the dragons," Anna warned. Wati quickly sprang into action. He shot a black beam of light from his mouth. The beam struck the first robber in the chest and knocked him down. Drake's heart pounded. He moved closer to Worm. Then the second robber stepped forward. He sent an arrow flying right at Khepri. "No!" Anna cried, and she jumped into the path of the arrow. Chapter 11. Flying. Drake watched in horror as the arrow flew toward Anna. He dove toward her, hoping to knock her out of the way, but before he could reach her, the arrow stopped in midair, inches from Anna's face. Drake landed with a thud. He picked himself up and looked at Worm. The dragon's green eyes were glowing. Drake knew what that meant. Worm had used his mind powers to stop the arrow. The arrow fell to the floor, and Worm wasn't finished yet. Next, the weapons flew from the hands of the robbers. They slammed into the wall, breaking into pieces. The 4 robbers floated up off the floor. Their legs dangled beneath them. They shouted at Worm. Drake could see the green light in Worm's eyes starting to flicker. "Worm can't hold them up there much longer," he guessed. "We must get out of here." "Get on the dragons," Haru yelled. Haru and Rory climbed onto Wati. Anna climbed onto Kepri's back, and Drake and Bo climbed onto Worm. "Wati, blast the top of the pyramid," Haru ordered. Wati aimed a black beam of light at the top of the chamber. A bright rainbow ribbon came from Kepri's mouth and joined it. The top of the pyramid opened up. "Now we fly out," Haru said. "Go!" Wati flew up and Kepri flew right behind him. Worm stayed on the ground. The light in his eyes kept flickering. The robber's feet were almost touching the floor. Drake saw that Worm couldn't use his powers to do too many things at once. He knew his dragon couldn't fly like the other dragons, but Worm could take them somewhere else in a flash, if he was strong enough. "Worm, get us out of here!" Drake yelled. Worm let go of his grip on the robbers. They tumbled to the floor. Then they quickly got up, angrily charging toward Drake, Bo, and Worm. The dragon's eyes glowed green. "Hold on tight, Bo!" Drake yelled. 1 second they were in the chamber, the next they were outside the pyramid. Chapter 12. Anna's Decision. Drake and Bo climbed off Worm's back. They looked up. The sun was just starting to rise. Kepri and Wati were flying around. "We can't stay here long," Bo said. "Soon the villagers will wake up, and we can't let them see the dragons." Drake nodded. "Yes, and Griffith is probably worried about us." Kepri and Wati glided down and landed next to them. Anna, Haru, and Rory climbed off the dragons' backs. They ran over to Drake and Bo. "You made it!" Anna cried. "We figured that Worm could do his cool earth dragon thing and get you out of there in a blink," Rory said. Drake smiled at Worm. "Yeah, he's awesome." Then the twin dragons flew up again and circled the golden top of the pyramid. Kepri and Wati look so happy together, Bo said. Anna sighed. "I am so glad that Kepri is better," she said. "It's all because of Wati. He knew how to heal her when no one else could. I really think she should stay here with him." She sounded sad. "But she's your dragon," Drake said. "She should stay with you." Anna shook her head. "I don't have a strong connection with Kepri, not like the one that you have with Worm. Your stone glows when you and Worm connect, just like earlier tonight when he called to you. My dragon stone has never glowed." "But Griffith said it would happen to you, too," Drake said. He looked at Bo and Rory. "To all of you." Anna had tears in her eyes. "I might never know now. It seems like Kepri is better off without me." Haru put a hand on her shoulder. "Listen to Drake, Anna. I knew Wati for a year before my stone glowed," he said. "It takes patience." Drake turned to Haru. "You said you weren't a dragon master, but you have a dragon stone and your own dragon. How are you not a dragon master?" Haru shrugged. "It is your king who has called you a dragon master. I serve no king. All I know is that for many ages my family has served dragons. When dragons come to us, we help them." "King Roland doesn't want to help dragons," Drake thought. "He just wants us to train them." "We must get back to our kingdom," Bo said. "The castle will be waking up soon. If King Roland finds the dragons missing—" Drake shuddered. "That would be bad for us. And for Griffith." He turned to Anna. "We must go. Do you want to see if Kepri will come with us?" I've decided that she should stay with Wati, Anna said sadly. I will say goodbye. Let me call her. And that brings us to a chapter end, so that is where we are going to end for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to tune in on Monday at 2 p.m. when we shall return for the conclusion of Dragon Masters Saving the Sun Dragon. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Oh, of course, be sure to check out our other live programs. Toddler Time with Miss Becky, Stories with Sunny, and Creating with Constance. Don't forget that you can access digital content through sweetwaterlibraries.com. You can also get physical items through our curbside pickup service. And the library will be reopening on June 1st. Huzzah! So we're looking forward to having everybody back in the building again. It's going to be awesome. Just not all at the same time. Anyway, we will see you on Monday, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Talk to you soon.